All right, so I guess it's...
Finally, we have Discord audio. Sorry about that, everyone.
Yay!
All right, we're doing late introductions.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Zelda 2 Max Rando tournament. I am Melee Wizard, and alongside me is Freako. How are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. Looks like we got ourselves a tournament match here for the Max Rando.
Yep, between the TheHangryCanuck and Kingdahl. So from the trackers, you can see our runners already started with the raft and the key. They also had the shield and reflect spells out of the Rudo and Darunia spots respectively, hence the trophy and lost child mark, because those won't be appearing either. And this is a 3-gem seed, so levels might end up being a thing once we get into Great Palace. We'll have to see.
Ooh, so we got to figure out where 3 of the palaces are. Conveniently, we may have 3 palaces available on the Western continent. We're going to have to at least go to the Eastern continent for one of them. Be it the Great Palace or any of the other palaces. But at least we have the raft for that right out of the gate.
Yep, that is helpful. Though having the glove will likely be a thing that we'll need, but we'll get there when we get there, I guess.
Ah, yes. Ah, the glove.
And we have the TheHangryCanuck finds Saria, so we'll get a free spell here.
So we're still going to have to potentially find Thunder?
Yes, that...
Is
basically
Thunderbird required?
Thunderbird is not necessarily required. It could just be in the way.
Ah. So there's the old 50-50 shot then, if Thunderbird is along the path or not?
Pretty much.
Okay.
But we got Kingdahl getting the spell in Raruru as well, so we'll get some good information here.
Oh, well, someone set
fire
us up
spell.
the bomb. So it looks like we have fire and reflect showing up on the TheHangryCanuck side of things.
They both had reflect. Canuck just got jump, actually.
Ah.
And
yeah, me and paying attention. 2 things that don't go well together.
Ooh, looks like we're getting some 500 P bags as random drops. That'll definitely help help on the level front.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like TheHangryCanuck found a 500 P bag right off the bat. He's a little bit ahead on levels right now at 223. I believe Kingdahl with his 500 P bag 312. So going for the more expensive attack levels early on.
Oh, that'll definitely make combat faster as early on. So our runners also did start with the up stab, but not the down stab. And since TheHangryCanuck just got the jump spell, he'll be able to get the down stab right away here, having found Mido.
Oh, convenient location is convenient for TheHangryCanuck. So it looks like 4-directional fighting will be mastered by the TheHangryCanuck with the sage advice of the swordman with stick 'em with the pointy end.
Yes, so the important knowledge to be had for sure. So then the fact that they have the magical key means palaces in general will be in logic. It's just a matter of whether they're, say, fairy blocked or glove blocked or whatever other kind of block there might be.
Well, let's see. There's a fairy block, so potentially a fairy spell could come into play. Does the logic still assume that a runner would have to have fairy and or the key?
I believe so, yes. And okay. Kingdahl finds a palace, and it is Palace 2.
Alright, so potential for a glove block in Palace 2, if memory serves me correctly.
Yes. But it's... Unless it... You should be able to at least get the item or the boss, one or the other. If not both. We'll just have to see where that glove block actually ends up.
Yeah, with the maps being randomized, there's no guarantee that a glove block will occur in any particular palace.
Yep. I was about to say even GP, but that is highly unlikely.
Well, we'll get there when we get there, I think.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Kingdahl going for using the shield. Ooh, this is not a fun set of enemies to work with here.
If only because of the lag, my goodness.
Alright, it looks like TheHangryCanuck is fallen and trying to get up.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem to have found anything.
Yep, that was the fairy drop, so... Ooh, let's, TheHangryCanuck's either found... Look, that is Palace 1. And there was another palace right close by, so we'll probably see what that palace is in due time.
Yeah, I believe TheHangryCanuck finding Palace 1, pretty fortunate.
Oh yes, definitely.
I can't see there being any issue with TheHangryCanuck finishing this palace in short order. And of course, no sooner do I say that as he takes a death.
Yeah, I didn't even see what... Oh yeah, blue iron knuckles, always the most fun of enemies to encounter.
So that whole thing about me saying there shouldn't be much that complicates things here, yeah, the blue iron knuckles would definitely complicate things. Hopefully, not going to see many more of those.
But thanks to downstab, at least getting past them won't be that big of a deal. In theory.
Famous last words.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, we have a red one showing up, so that's pretty much free 50 points.
Yeah, and I think Kingdahl has found the glove block in 2. We are finding some extra life drops. That's always fortunate, especially since our runner started with 2 lives here.
Alright, so the 2 lives will be persistent. If a runner were to game over, they would then go back to 2 lives.
Yes.
Upon restarting. Okay.
As opposed to the vanilla 3. With amongst the max rando flags, you randomizes your starting lives anywhere from 1 to 5. It also randomizes their starting health anywhere from 1 to 8. And it looks like they started with 5 today.
Yeah, so getting starting with 5 blocks of health definitely an aid for the adventure that Link is on right now.
Mm-hmm. TheHangryCanuck finding the item room, and it's a pea bag. It's a nice thing to find early, if nothing else.
I'd like to think that this is where the trophy was. Because those items would be replaced by a 500-point pea bag.
Well, I mean, it could have easily been the raft or the key instead.
Ah, that's true.
Or, one other possibility, part of the max rando flags, your maximum health is also randomized. So for all we know, there might just not be any more heart containers to be found, and they're just stuck with 5 for the whole seed.
Oh no. So the item potential for 500-point pea bags in the palaces is very high then.
Well, just finding them in general, yeah. Because there's at least 4, well, at least 5. 1 from the extra heart container and 4 from the raft key, and by association, due to their current spells, the trophy and lost child. So that's an extra 5 in the pool, right just from that.
Ouch. So the potential for having to find an actual item has just gone down. So, are we going to see potential Maze Island? The only reason I say this is if the Great Palace is not on Maze Island, do you even consider going out that far?
Possibly. Well, it depends on how easy it is to get to, I guess. It is 2 items plus the palace. We'll have a third, so it's a thought. We'll have to see what our runners find before then.
Okay, so it is something that you would kind of keep in the back of your head is like, okay, this is a place I could go to, if, things don't exactly work out the way I'd like them to.
Yeah. Kingdahl finding a dead end in 2, and TheHangryCanuck finding a horse head.
And no sooner do you say you found him as TheHangryCanuck defeats Horsehead, and this will be at 11.5 minutes in, our first crystal dunked.
Mm-hmm. And looking at TheHangryCanuck's levels, he's already got that 500-point P-bag in P1. Definitely helped out. He's already got some good levels going. And let's see, what's this other palace? It's GP. Okay then.
All right, so we are definitely going to have to voyage east with Great Palace and the Starting Palace both on the Western Continent. That leaves only 2 palaces, and we know them to be Palace 1 and Palace 2.
Definitely probably the best ones you would want to find early, but it looks like Kingdahl might have been ultimately glove blocked out of 2.
Well, at least Kingdahl will be able to explore the continent, find Palace 1. So I think we may have a net time wash, unless the TheHangryCanuck makes the big brain play and just decides, all right, I now know that I have to go to the Eastern Continent, so why not? Let's just go for it. I can't see that as a possibility, but you never know.
Yeah, if he finds 2, it all depends on whether he's afraid of that potential glove block or not.
Well, it looks like he's in the general area where 2 was. I'm not too thrilled about the map with the swamp. I believe it was a little further south from where Canuck is right now.
Yeah, that's a pass-through cave. And that's the back half of Saria.
Now, Kingdahl seems to be exploring still some more. But, looks like he's found the spot where he could go to the Eastern Continent. But, a little more interested in checking out the town, which I believe is the front end of Saria.
Yep, that's the front end of Saria. He'll be getting his jump spell soon. I see TheHangryCanuck's found the grass tile. I think this is new information for us here. And it's a P-bag.
Well, Kingdahl has found a 4th spell. So that gives him fire, jump, reflect, and what else did we start with?
We started with shield and reflect.
Okay.
And it looks like it's starting to look like I saw something was linked with fire. I'm thinking it was probably the shield spell.
Yeah, that's likely because Kingdahl tried to use a spell early on to get through that lag room with in Palace 2, and it looked like it shielded him.
Yep, shield was in the Rudo spell slot, and they already started with it.
Okay, so it was just shield he cast then. If fire was linked to something like, well, thunder, the obvious go-to spell you'd love to see fire linked to,
Oh, yes.
that would have solved that problem very quickly.
It would solve really any experience-related issues right off the bat, and Kingdahl finding Mido. Fortunate in finding the jump spell first, like TheHangryCanuck did.
Yeah, so this will unlock four-way fighting for Kingdahl, as he will now learn the sage advice of the Sword Master.
And looks like TheHangryCanuck, I want to say that is the back half of the fairy drop.
Alright, so is TheHangryCanuck exploring, or just looking? Yeah, you are right. It is the back end of the fairy drop, so Canuck is looking for an item in this cave, or is he just gonna... Oh, looks like noping out of there.
He already knew where that was. He already saw the drop itself, so...
Ah, okay. So just confirming that basically a dead end for those particular caves. Okay.
There's the medicine cave. Is taking the time to kill these red Darias. They're not really providing much for experience.
Wise Frico say, use spell first, or shield first, before you're on one hit before dying.
Not a bad idea. Of course, I'm often one to not even think about it until I've already taken a couple of hits myself, so...
Yeah, 'cause it looks like very difficult to see what's going on in this medicine cave for TheHangryCanuck, and that's unfortunately 2 lives lost and a game over.
Yeah, that's a bunch of red Dairas. That's kind of rough, but he's going in for another try at it.
Well, he certainly remembers that he has the downstab, so looks like he's just trying to power his way through to the end of the medicine cave to see what's...
Yeah, to at least get the item, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a bit.
Oh.
Oh, it's only a 200, too.
Oof. That's a hard oof. Ouch.
And now I'm starting to think that fire might not be linked to Reflected, because the fire sprite is just TheHangryCanuck's normal sword beam sprite, so... And Canuck finding 2. And yep, he decides to have a go at it.
Well, this might help Kingdahl if he can find Palace 1 and Great Palace. Because as we know from Kingdahl previously, I don't believe TheHangryCanuck is going to be able to make meaningful progression because of the glove block.
Yes. Unless TheHangryCanuck somehow comes across a path that Kingdahl did not.
That is possible. So, The TheHangryCanuck functionally pulling into the pits for a little pit stop here, giving Kingdahl some time to explore. So we'll see if Kingdahl can even up the battle. Oh God, what is that?
Yeah,
mess?
that's a room.
I just looked back over at the TheHangryCanuck screen, and oh my God, looked like a jailbreak over there.
Yeah, double blue iron knuckle plus a dancing bear. So that's a rough time.
Oh, no thank you. Alright, Kingdahl finding the back end of Saria. I think he just needs to head a little further north and he'll find... TheHangryCanuck finding another one of the great rooms of Palace 2 that are just, oh my God.
Yeah, and even just trying to getting by is the thing. But he's able to get by. Very little health, but he's able to get by.
Kingdahl a little hesitant to try his luck with the bridge. But now we can see why Kingdahl noped out of Palace 2 earlier. Just these paths are just atrocious.
Yeah, the enemies aren't being very nice in this one.
Let's see. The TheHangryCanuck is going to find a 500-point P bag.
And yep, that's the glove block. And yep, TheHangryCanuck decides to move on. Can't really blame him. But there's Magic Container Cave. I don't remember if Kingdahl had come through here. I did not see what it had.
Well, then it's a mystery to both you and I, because I did not recall Kingdahl going in there either. He may have...
Oh, wow!
Oh, hello!
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, because Kingdahl just up and ate and noped out of Palace 2, and unfortunately for Kingdahl, he's going to pay the price for that.
Yeah,
the TheHangryCanuck.
That's an oof moment right there.
Definitive advantage now for TheHangryCanuck is this should give him the ability to finish Palace 2, or at least be able to take on the glove block room.
Yeah. There's really no other enemies aside. There's nothing else that would block progress at that point. But this is another item cave, so let's see what we got here. It's another P bag. But from here, I could definitely see the TheHangryCanuck heading back into Palace 2 to try and make some headway there.
Well, he's still right next door to Palace 2. That the cave was right there. But Kingdahl is now progressing through Palace 1.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if he's able to get anything there. TheHangryCanuck stopping by a graveyard tile and not finding anything too fancy there.
No.
Just a red bottle.
Probably the main reason why he checked that is if it was King's Tomb, he could have gotten a hint. We do have a hint system in place where if you check NPCs that are stationary, which a detail that I don't think TheHangryCanuck is aware of, based from what I've seen, there is a potential for them to give you a hint regarding, say, a certain item is in a certain region.
Yeah, so it could potentially say, for example, let's say Guma has the trophy, even though it's not in any way possible because the trophy's already out of the item pool.
Right, yeah. Just
No,
saying for the sake of example, yeah.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
would mean that the trophy would have been in P5.
So if we ever happen to go into Palace 5, we know don't even bother looking for the item because, well, we don't need the trophy in this particular instance.
Yeah, but we wouldn't even get a hint for the trophy because it's probably not even in the scene in the first place from what we've seen. But yeah,
Yeah, that is true. But, well, let's say, Guma has the point bag.
that's a better example.
Since, well, the trophy would be replaced with a point bag, so it'll say Guma has the point bag. To use an actual example that may actually show up.
Just to clarify, I don't think we've actually seen any hints as of yet, but that we're just stating things for.
Yeah, this is purely for example purposes. About the only things I've seen so far is a couple I know nothings that were knocked out with the text box. Once you see that I,
Pretty much,
they
yeah.
usually, it's I know nothing. There isn't really much else.
And one thing that I was alluding to is that only the stationary NPCs will actually have hints. The ones that are just walking around will not actually give hints. And I don't think TheHangryCanuck is aware of that, though that's not really that big of a time loss right now.
Ooh, Kingdahl actually reset himself. I think he was on low life looking down a red iron, not have confidence in his ability to finish it off.
And and either that or perhaps on some level, it might have just been faster to up A at that point, just to get back to where you were, or something.
It looks like Kingdahl's still exploring Palace 1. Because he just went through a new path and saw what was behind door number 3 and decided, nope. Gonna up an A again, reset progress.
Yeah, Kingdahl did find the item in one, so now he's just on the quest for Horsehead.
TheHangryCanuck going into the prison break room, where the two blue guards are trying to subdue the wild animal, throwing maces all around.
Ooh, ouch. At least the dancing bear is dead, so he can actually downstab across them at this point. And having the jump spell will, actually let you get through. Oh, no. Ooh, ouch. But momentum being a bit harsh on him here.
Yeah, tried to menu, but unfortunately no fairy spell to save him from the trip to the sauna. So we'll see if TheHangryCanuck goes that way again. Kingdahl up against Horsehead, so this should go fairly quickly.
Yeah, there's two main paths here and two to take. Both of them lead through very unpleasant rooms. This being the other one.
Yeah, this particular path is, yuck.
But having attack 4 does make things a bit easier, more manageable.
Kingdahl gonna find out the mystery of the Great Palace, so not gonna stick around long there. So now...
For now, the thought for Kingdahl is, does he try to hunt down more caves? Or does he head to the... Oh, there's Death Mountain. And a quick access to Spectacle Rock, though it's a shame we don't have the hammer right now.
Well, Kingdahl unfortunately passed on exploring where Palace 2 is, and that's unfortunately where the glove is. So
yeah, it may be a while before he heads back in that direction.
So that, I'm almost thinking we may see our first trip to the east as the TheHangryCanuck dipping into the sauna again. Ooh.
Oh, okay. He's good. And it continues on. Jackhammering that blue iron knuckle, mostly just to get it out of the way.
Well, definitely a valid strategy to get him out of there, that's for sure.
And keeps going.
Yeah, the TheHangryCanuck into another potential glove block room.
And it all leads to a dead end, too. Ouch.
Ay, what a shame. Alright, so it looks like Kingdahl is still exploring, so it looks like he's into Death Mountain at this point.
Yeah, he's in Death Mountain, see if he can come find the Hammer Cave.
Well, let's see, about the only thing I can think of that would really save Kingdahl at this point is the hammer itself. We know where the glove is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what could possibly be in Death Mountain that would kind of get Kingdahl back on the right track, or at least say, alright, I can't do Palace 2, but now I can go over to the Eastern Continent. And it looks like Kingdahl just saying, no thank you.
One thought, the boots would probably help at least for being able to explore more efficiently or what have you.
Ah, okay. Yeah, the boots would be a good item to find, that's for sure.
Oh boy, I see what TheHangryCanuck's doing. He's close to a level, so he's going to try and he knows he's on his last life, so he's going to try and get some experience off of this bubble to get that level up before up-Aing. And it was just enough. Wow.
Ooh, by 6 points. So, he's just going to up-A and, Alright, it looks like, Palace 2 is a negative for both Kingdahl and the TheHangryCanuck so far.
Yeah, it's just that at this point we know that the jump room is pretty much it's the only path to take at this point, and that's not a pleasant prospect, I guess.
Well, both of our runners have been in Palace 2 for a decent stay, but the TheHangryCanuck right now, TheHangryCanuck, not just completely up-Aing out of the palace and finding the hammer, or the glove, in what I believe was the medicine cave.
No, I think it was the magic container cave.
Ah, okay, right.
And Kingdahl makes our first trek to the east.
Ooh.
We have our lovely invisible Moas making their presence felt. Oh, geez, a bunch of them.
Oh boy.
And that's guaranteed to just be a pea bag.
Well, at this point, I'm almost thinking P-bags might not be a bad thing. Another life level or two. Oh, Kingdahl getting blasted by an invisible Moa.
Yeah. And TheHangryCanuck finding, I think that's... Oh, Raru actually had fire. Okay, that's interesting. I did not notice that.
Yeah, the TheHangryCanuck finding fire, Kingdahl having it for some time now, but not really using it.
Oh, okay. Kingdahl finding Palace 4. We have Reflect. I don't believe there's a glove block here, so I think we can do something here.
Yeah, if memory serves me correctly, it's Palace 2 and Palace 5 that have the glove blocks.
I'm pretty sure there's 1 in 6, but
Well, it has been a while, so...
yeah, at the very least in the Canadian hole room. And TheHangryCanuck falling to the east and pretty much finding Palace 4 pretty much right away. Decides to explore a bit more first.
Interesting. Kingdahl looks like he's a little more interested in trying to get that second crystal placed. TheHangryCanuck doing a little bit more exploration, potentially deciding... well, we know that it's 3, 4, 5, and 6 that are in the Western continent. I'm not sure what palaces you would want to do above 4. 5 is a labyrinth, so you'd want to avoid that if at all possible.
6 really isn't much better.
So I'm gonna put you kind of on the spot. Ooh, a River Devil sighting.
It looks like he's actually doing his job for one in one of those rare moments. Ooh, Kingdahl finding the item room in 4. Let's see. Well, oof. More rough enemies. And TheHangryCanuck finding one of the item caves here on the east as well. Which item will we see first? Ooh, there's the hammer for TheHangryCanuck and a magic container for Kingdahl.
Ooh, so TheHangryCanuck getting a little bit of an advantage again. Hammer and glove, of which Kingdahl has neither presently. Kingdahl should end up finishing Palace 4, so we'll see how long it will take TheHangryCanuck to make it back that far.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how long it takes to actually find Karak, because this place can be a bit windy at times. Ooh, Canuck finds a town, and ooh, it's Old Kasuto, so got a free spell here. That's
Kingdahl taking a game over.
And ooh, fairy spell for Canuck.
Ooh, that's going to be a pretty convenient spell to have, that's for sure.
If nothing else, getting through that one room in 2 that you have to go through is now largely a non-issue.
Yeah, the fairy spell will definitely do that. That's Kingdahl maybe a little stubborn here, going back into Palace 4.
Well, he did just find a dead end, so.
So, I guess the question is, at what point do you consider, okay...
Oh! Fire is linked to reflect. Interesting.
Ooh.
Not a bad one. They already had reflect, but it's definitely cheaper now.
Oh yeah, budget reflect is much more efficient than just casting reflect.
Although looking at Canuck's side at Magic 5, reflect only costs 30, so it's not that bad, but it is still cheaper though. And it looks like Canuck up 8 and he's heading back to the west. But between that hammer and that fairy spell, he's probably going to go ahead back in and knock out 2.
Ooh, so this will be interesting. So the TheHangryCanuck could end up doing 1, 2, 4, not having to really explore much else. And then going, alright, am I going to need Thunder for Great Palace? Because we already know where Great Palace is.
Yep. And as far as items concerned, we already have everything that we need to actually explore Great Palace. We have jump, both stabs, the glove.
Well,
That's really
for
all you
Hangry-
need. And fairy, that's pretty much everything you need to just have full access to the place.
Yeah, so TheHangryCanuck is, do we dare say, go-modable at this point? Because he
Thunder,
could-
the contingent on whether Thunder's required, but yeah. pretty much.
Okay. So, if TheHangryCanuck were to go into 2, no, he's going into Death Mountain.
Yeah, he's exploring Death Mountain. It's a shame. The other entrance to Death Mountain pretty much you're right at Spectacle Rocks. I'm not sure if Canuck's seen that yet.
We'll find out soon enough. Kingdahl trying to espionage his way through Palace 4, but ends up taking a hit to an Iron Knuckle. At least having a 1-up. Not sure. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's trying to downstab, but just going to take the Iron Knuckle on.
Oh, and he finds the boss.
All right, so Kingdahl is going to take a small lead here in that he will have dunked his second crystal now.
Mm-hmm.
Both runners finishing Palace 1.
So now it's just a matter of what does Kingdahl do from here. Because if he explores in the same direction that TheHangryCanuck did, he'll find his hammer and the fairy spell. So now it's just a matter of what... And from what we've seen, the glove block didn't actually block anything. So we know that 2 is completable without it. Without the glove. Kingdahl doesn't know that. But we know that.
Yay, being able to see all the things as the commentator.
Yeah, that's the kind of the privileged position that we have.
Alright, so Kingdahl. This should lead to the hammer, if I recall correctly.
Yep, that's where the hammer is.
So Kingdahl about to find the hammer. He should continue on this line to find... Oh, I'm just going brain dead at this point.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I couldn't remember the spell, and it's like, oh yeah, it's fairy. Once
fairy.
we get to the town that's on the other
old-
side of the path that Kingdahl will be taking on the overworld, most likely. Because he can't bypass the River Devil at this point.
Right. Yeah, TheHangryCanuck saw Old Kasuto, and that had fairy.
So I think Kingdahl will end up over there in short order once he gets out of this muck and...
Yeah, and Canuck upping out of Death Mountain. I did take a look. I did see Spectacle Rock from where TheHangryCanuck was. It looked like there was just one other cave that would lead to there, because the other one was the alternate entrance. But no, he's heading back. He's heading back into Death Mountain.
Interesting. So Kingdahl's going to pick up Fairy if he can make it past the invisible eyeballs. It looks like 2 of them are down, and he has made it.
Yep. And TheHangryCanuck finding a few dead ends. At the moment, I'm kind of curious what Canuck is actually looking for.
That's a good question. Boots?
Boots would be helpful, but from what we've seen, not required to complete the seed.
It looks like the TheHangryCanuck is looking for like a reason to go off the reservation and explore somewhere he doesn't really need to be.
Maybe he's hoping to find the flute to get past the river devil, but it's still, with just being a 3-gem seed.
There's no point to really even look for 3, 5, or 6 at this point because you already know enough and potentially have enough. Thunder notwithstanding, the great equalizer of Thunder, Kingdahl back in Palace 4 and just deciding, okay, I'm going to use the palace to refill my life and continue exploring.
Yeah, when you're short on lives like we are here, it's not a bad idea.
Let's see. I mean, we're definitely not looking for the candle or cross.
I mean, the cross would be helpful, but I guess if you don't have the candle, you can't really see the Moas anyway. And that just confirmed that Spectacle Rock. If you're trying to get through it this way, there's only one cave that'll get you there.
So, I mean, I'm just going through, okay, what items are still in the pool and what could possibly be helpful. The cross, the candle, quality of life at best.
Yeah. Boots would allow for... I did not see what that item was on Kingdahl's side. That was an item, I just didn't catch what it was.
It was one-up doll.
Oh, okay. Wah. Yeah, the boots would allow better travel. Then you can walk across rivers and whatnot. The flute would get you past the river devil,
which could potentially get us to Thunder. But that's a coin flip to see if we even need it in the first place.
Yeah, and I don't think we got the spell out of Mido because we don't have the Water of Life. If either of them had checked the hint for it, I did not see where it was.
So the question now is... Now, I'm going to do a little bit of speculation here. For what it's worth, we know that we could potentially finish Palace 2 if we're Kingdahl. He's over by where Great Palace and Palace 1 are right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if he goes to Palace 2, does he have enough to finish it? Oh, Spectacle Rock, he's got the hammer.
I was trying to remember where that was, and that's magic container number 7, because apparently that desert tile on the east had magic containers. That brings Kingdahl up to 7. And it looks like he's gonna be hunting down Hammer Cave some more. Ooh, there's TheHangryCanuck. That was Hammer Cave for TheHangryCanuck, and that is where the flute is.
Ooh, so this could make things interesting. Well, I guess the gambler in me is going, okay, with what I know right now, I could potentially get into Great Palace because I should be able to finish Palace 2 with what I have on Kingdahl's side, or the TheHangryCanuck side, all the same.
Yeah.
Is it worth the risk of going into Great Palace and trying to make it to Dark Link and hope I just don't hit the whammy of running into Thunderbird?
And having it be required as well. It's definitely a risk. But on some level, it might just depend on if you feel behind. Sometimes if you feel like you're behind, you might might want to just go for it.
Well, with the way both of our runners are continuing to explore, it feels like they're both going, all right, I'm missing this one thing, but I'm not entirely sure what this one thing is, but it could be thunder, and I know I don't have it.
Mm-hmm. And we know that just from the spells that we already have, it's either Mido, Naburu, or Nukasudo. We've got all the rest.
So let's see. We've seen Old Kasudo on the Eastern Continent, and I don't think we've found any other towns. So
We have not. I noticed TheHangryCanuck is just passing by Palace 4. Doesn't feel confident going through there right now.
Oh, I think he's headed to the River Devil.
Yes, he is. One other possibility is that there's a possibility that Nukasudo is hammerlocked, though both of our runners have the hammer. Though the best way to find out whether Nukasudo is hammerlocked is if you go into one of those random single forest tiles and you don't go into an encounter.
Yeah, that's when you know you found Nukasudo. Get in there and just hammer it out of there. So this will be interesting because we have life, which is definitely a good thing to have spell-wise, out and about. We've got the spell, and thunder still at large. So now it's a question of if TheHangryCanuck ends up finding thunder, does he just make a beeline back to Palace 4?
And 2 for that matter, potentially.
Going for a solitary desert tile, not finding any. Oh, 500 point P-bag, I guess, triggering the encounter.
Yeah. Well, there's 3-eye rock, so there's a flute requirement right there as well.
Yeah, but we don't necessarily need that palace.
No. But if this ends up being 3, which it's either 3 or 6, and he's skipping out on it for now. Oh, there is still one more. Don't worry about it.
Because I heard someone join the Discord.
And already left. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So there is Naburu on TheHangryCanuck's side, and Kingdahl having found the flute.
Oh, so Kingdahl's going to end up going the same route as TheHangryCanuck and exploring past the River Devil.
Potentially, yeah. If he thinks he can't get through 2 without the glove, which it's still unfortunate he was so close to it, but yet so far away. But the spell is the life spell in Naburu.
Alright, so Kingdahl baited me into thinking he was going for the raft tile.
Yeah.
But Kingdahl might actually just say, I've got fairy, let's YOLO Palace 2 and get to it. So Kingdahl might end up making the winning move right here. TheHangryCanuck definitely trying to hedge his bets more on the Thunderbird being a requirement. But I like Kingdahl's chances right now.
I see what Kingdahl...
another cave.
Yeah, there's this Hammerlock Cave. I thought that 2 wasn't in this direction, but oh, we have Trophy Cave. And with the fairy spell, it's just one quick
A trivial
cast
matter
in.
of casting it. And,
it's
oh.
Okay.
Ouch.
Not that useful without the candle as well, but still, it's It's there.
So I think the winning move right now for Kingdahl is to just go to Palace 2.
Alright, so what palace was this that... Oh, okay. Well, there's that answer. It's Palace 3 at Three Eye Rock. And Canuck does have pretty much everything he needs to get through this, so it's just a matter of whether the enemies actually let him
Yeah,
through.
not getting mauled from behind by a red iron knuckle.
That was actually from the statue. That was the 50-50. Meanwhile, Kingdahl is back in the east as well.
Well, I think he's headed toward the River Devil.
Yeah, most likely.
No, that's where Palace 4 is for Kingdahl, so I don't know why he's headed back towards Swamp.
I don't recall if... I don't know if he... No, I don't think he had explored past that point. I don't think there's anything there, but I don't think he saw that yet.
No, he did, but no boots, so we can't go south from there into the water.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So Kingdahl was in Old Kasuto, so he has explored somewhat past this point, but he has not gone past the River Devil and down into the area where the TheHangryCanuck is at present.
But instead of going through the River Devil, he's taking this pass-through cave instead.
Interesting strategy. Let's see if gets him somewhere. But the TheHangryCanuck is down a palace at this point, 2-1 to Kingdahl. So Kingdahl basically looking for the last place.
Oh, and that's... Oh, okay. Because Kingdahl had already been through here, because this was where the magic container was.
Correct. So Kingdahl in a bit of a spot here.
Where he's retracing his steps at this point.
Yeah. So unfortunate for him that Kingdahl's going to lose a little bit of time here as Rebenak falls to the TheHangryCanuck.
And I saw that life is pretty potent this time around. He was doing at least 4 bars.
So the TheHangryCanuck tying our score here 2-2 for crystals that have been dunked. Does the TheHangryCanuck just go back up to Palace 4 at this point? Continue looking for Thunder? Find out next on Zelda 2 Randomizer.
Actually, he's going back into 3 to hunt down the items. I'm still curious as to what exactly he's looking for, though.
Why? Boots?
Water of Life for the Mido spell? I don't know.
Okay, alright. So hunting down an item right now is just... Ugh. But Kingdahl...
Ooh, but Kingdahl finding the blank spot, the blank forest tile, but not connecting the dots on it. So that's New Kasuto, but I don't think Kingdahl realizes that.
I think TheHangryCanuck just kind of went right by it too, and
he never even walked across it, so he didn't even check.
No, he was in the tile that Kingdahl is on, but not the one that's in that little graveyard. So Kingdahl's going to find the dead end on the over in this little section to the right and up. So, ooh.
Oh boy, yeah, this This is a lot of oof going on here, I think.
So, let me propose a chaos theory for you. Kingdahl finds thunder in New Kasuto.
He's trying to do a fairy feed across and gets it done. Nice.
Nice. All right, but see, at this point, I think Kingdahl, unfortunately, looking for love in all the wrong places, or well, in this case, looking for boots or a glove.
Well, it's just the thing is, we saw where New Kasuto is. I don't think Kingdahl realizes that. I think he just thinks, oh, there's nothing there.
Well, Kingdahl could use Palace 3 as his final palace.
Ooh, and Canuck slips into the drink, and game's over, too.
No, Kingdahl noping out, choosing to continue exploration.
Just finding a couple pass-throughs. Well, at least get to Naburu and get his life spell. But
Well, I'm hoping this will send him back to Palace 2 with Life and Fairy in hand. But we still have the minor little detail of potentially needing Thunder.
And now we know it's down to two options. New Kasuto and Mido.
And Kingdahl mistakenly knows where New Kasuto is.
Mm-hmm.
However, he may be going for the big brain play here and debating us, and he may head up back that way, get New Kasuto, but now I guess
That's
for
I'm still. I'd be more willing to believe that he just doesn't realize that that's actually New Kasuto.
well,
I'd be more. It would be more believable to me that he just thinks there's nothing there at all. That
That's
is just a
true.
random forest tile that does nothing.
yeah. But, ouch. I guess we look for Maze Island. We look for Valley of Death. Oh, we found
There's Valley of Death right there, which has no encounters in it. Wow.
Wow.
And it's P6.
All right, so Kingdahl could substitute P6 for P2. And it looks like he's...
Canuck finds the item room in 3, and it's a P bag.
Surprise. Ouch, all that time for the P bag.
Yeah. And Kingdahl decides not to explore 6.
And I think he realized what palace it was and just said, no thank you. But we have 1 and 4 out of the way for Kingdahl, and I believe 1 and 3 for the TheHangryCanuck.
Correct.
So the TheHangryCanuck potentially could get on to game point, as it were, for crystals with Palace 4 readily available.
4 and 2, for that matter.
Well, 2 would be much closer to the Great Palace, so we have options for the TheHangryCanuck. But I think where we're getting tripped up is locating that Thunder spell.
Yeah, it's definitely a bad feeling when you go into GP without it and it ends up being required. So I'm not going to fault them for that.
I confess to not being the greatest Zelda 2 runner, nor am I
Ooh, and, well, there's the candle in Kingdahl out of the second item cave.
Nor am I a randomizer of any, level of distinction. But you get that kind of gut instinct, that feeling that you're going, all right, I could get myself into Great Palace and just kind of YOLO it. And if I run into Thunder, okay. I run into Thunder, now I have to go find it. Damn it. But right now, we're looking at a 50-50 shot of needing the Water of Life or having Thunder show up. Well, New Kasuto could lead to the Water of Life because we've got items in New Kasuto.
Well,
and if we get the spell, isn't that where the spell tower is?
Yes. And Kingdahl will be guaranteed to get that first item because it requires anywhere from 5 to 7 magic containers. And so
I know it.
Has that.
Yeah, that was part of where I was going. I'm like, all right, it can't possibly require all 8 magic jars, so he's going to get the first item. So let's say it's the Water of Life. But it looks like Kingdahl going into...
Kingdahl finding Darunia, which we already have everything the town has to offer, but does go into Maze Island and is going to start exploring that. We've got 2 items here. We've got another palace, which by process of elimination we know is going to be P5.
Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna go into the palace. That would just be... Ugh. To go looking for an item which... I don't even want to think this, much less say it. Water of Life in Palace 5?
Oh, geez, yeah, that would be mean.
Like, I apologize to everyone watching this that I even thought of that. So I take full responsibility for if it actually happens, and then that's what we need to get the Thunder Spell.
And, TheHangryCanuck is deciding to at least start exploring 6. And I did not see what that item was that Kingdahl just got.
I'll give you a hint. It starts with P and ends in bag.
I know this. Heart container. No, that ain't right.
So yeah, Kingdahl finding the first of our Maze Island drops, and unfortunately, his efforts rewarded with a 500-point P bag. So it looks like lap 2 into Maze Island for Kingdahl.
Well, if nothing else, Kingdahl has been making some good use out of his experience. He's at 557 compared to TheHangryCanuck's 456. So on the level front, he does have the advantage.
All right.
Ooh,
so
TheHangryCanuck barely able to cast Fairy to get out of there.
Well, it was enough, but oh, this is going to be a little rough. Getting bombarded from up, down. Ooh. TheHangryCanuck up and A-ing and just noping on out of there, so...
Yeah, 6 is usually not a pleasant place.
So this just keeps bringing me back to Palace 2 as, like, the lesser of all evils. And then we have the Great Palace on the same continent.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's the second item
Kingdahl finding
on
the
Kingdahl.
second drop.
What do we have? It's the boots.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right. So Kingdahl potentially debating himself by going to Maze Island.
And, okay. TheHangryCanuck going into 2 and then immediately leaving? What?
Error? Error does not compute? Did he go into 1 or did he go into 2?
That was 2.
That was 2.
Did he think he had already finished it, or I'm confused.
All right, error in freako.exe does not compute. Oh boy.
Meanwhile, Kingdahl found 5. He's diving 5.
Oh, I hate my life for even suggesting the water of life could have been in here. Alright, so the TheHangryCanuck down by, no, not taking the, raft over to the eastern continent. It looks like, the TheHangryCanuck has something else in mind. Oh, that's a negative. No, you already got everything out of there.
Well, everything you can anyway. I'm still thinking nobody has checked the spell hint for Mido, though. Under these flags, if you don't already have the spell for either Rudo, Mido, or Darunia, you can talk to the person that walks out the door, and they will tell you where the item is, as an extra hint.
Oh, and we have a question in the chat. Are they still in search, just in case?
Potentially, yes. That could be something that they're looking for. It's the only thing that would make sense for them to be looking for at this point, at least on TheHangryCanuck's side, because he has the means of beating basically any of the other dungeons at this point.
The only thing that would stop TheHangryCanuck from going from where he is to Dark Link is potentially thunder. And I can almost say the same thing for Kingdahl at this point.
Kingdahl does. We're highly likely to be glove required in Great Palace. I would find it very unusual if the glove wasn't required in GP.
Okay. So Kingdahl still has to head back toward Palace 2 to get the glove then. Because it was in that cave right next to Palace 2. And the TheHangryCanuck gonna go exploring some caves.
Yeah, coming across Trophy Cave, which I believe this was where the cross was.
Correct. Yeah, because Kingdahl just ferried and forget it. So the TheHangryCanuck picking up the cross. Not the greatest item, but may still have its uses on the eastern continent.
Even then, the only use they would have would be on in the cave encounters. They still won't help you because you need the candle too to be able to see the MOAs.
But an overworld encounter, you would see all the MOAs.
Yeah, for the graveyard encounters and yeah.
So a very limited quality of life item at best in the cross. The candle found by Kingdahl, I believe, on the eastern continent.
Yes.
It does not look like the TheHangryCanuck has found the candle.
No.
I really think at this point, TheHangryCanuck should just go to Palace 2.
Yeah. I'm wondering why he was there just recently, but then he just immediately left. I'm wondering why. Because he has the glove. He has fairy. There's nothing stopping him from just going in there and completing it, like, immediately.
So the TheHangryCanuck looks like he's exploring.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna be heading back to the east, it looks like.
So this looks like the TheHangryCanuck is going to end up where Kingdahl is right now, in Palace 5 and Maze Island, but we'll see. Kingdahl having a little chat with Boss Guma right now.
Doing pretty well so far. Having life 7 definitely helps, though.
Oh, very much so. He's taken 2 hits, and that's about half his life bar. So, with a full magic bar, we're just going to use life, get it all back, and repeat the process. So that's
and down goes Guma
out of there.
So that is Kingdahl's.
Oh, so TheHangryCanuck literally forgot what palace was what. So he just went back into Palace 1 and Great Palace.
I'm wondering, there's the there's Spectacle Rock. He'll get his first heart container. His first magic container.
Oh no! Oh, he's going back into 5.
Oh boy! He's
no!
Digging for. He thinks this might be where the glove is.
Oh no!
Oh boy!
Shoot me now. Put me out of my misery. So Kingdahl...
Well, there's the item room. Okay. No, that didn't take long.
Wow. Alright. So let's see what we find here.
It's a feedback.
Surprise.
Oh boy. The search continues.
Alright, well. Kingdahl at least now has 0 gems.
Mm-hmm.
He could go to Great Palace and just go for it. And it looks like
it does look like he's heading in the direction. He does look like he's heading in the direction of P2.
Because he just made a left turn.
This is the way to P. That's P2. He's about to get his glove. Good.
He's going to find the glove. So he's going to find the glove, and then...
Now it's just a matter of whether he's paranoid about getting thunder or not. There's that glove.
So
and that probably makes him think he's miles behind right now. Because he knows he could have had that at any time.
Oh, he could have had that almost an hour ago.
So now Kingdahl has a decision to make. Does he go after GP now, or does he try to hunt down that thunder spell?
It looks like he's going in the opposite direction of where Palace 1 and Great Palace are.
Nah, I think you have to kind of loop around to the south here and head west from here.
All right. Well, I guess it'll be a matter of, does he go for the Raptile? Oh, he's lined up with the Raptile.
Well, it's also the fastest way out of the swamp.
Oh, you baited one tile away. Ooh. Because the one thing that the TheHangryCanuck and Kingdahl more so than TheHangryCanuck, have overlooked is New Kasuto.
Mm-hmm. Because from what we've seen where it is. Because Kingdahl walked over that forest tile and there was nothing there.
Yeah,
there wasn't an encounter there.
Just walked past it, and we saw it on the top of his screen on that encounter that he just released himself from.
So at about an hour 1940-ish, Kingdahl is our first into GP.
Just gonna give it a go without thunder. The TheHangryCanuck, unfortunately, missing out on New Kasuto. And it looks like he may be looking for Maze Island. Kingdahl finding a dead end.
Well, it's nice to find dead ends early, I guess. He's not taking the elevator. Well, okay, no, he got 2 elevators back to back. Goes into a paperclip room. Oh, geez. Hello, bluebird of happiness.
Oh boy. And now a red one. Ugh.
Makes it... having life 8 is a very nice thing to have right now.
Well, with a life oh.
You know, there's
Ooh.
dead end number 2.
Alright, so TheHangryCanuck's into Maze Island, so he's gonna find the boots, he's gonna find 500-point P-bag, and the route he's going, he'll find the 500-point P-bag first.
Yeah, and then he'll probably find P5, and we'll see what he does from there.
So at this point, Kingdahl is in the Great Palace, so we'll see if Thunder is required if we encounter the Thunderbird.
Ooh. Okay, L7 drop. Let's see where this goes. To itself, okay. I always find that funny whenever I see it.
Yeah, the black hole room, you just fall through the floor to end up on the ceiling.
Alright, so it's another paperclip room. Let's see where this goes.
Ooh, so the TheHangryCanuck actually jumping into Palace 5.
Mm-hmm.
So... Ay. So the TheHangryCanuck is going to follow Kingdahl's footsteps.
I would not... For a 3-gem seed, I would never in a million years expect P5 to be one of the ones completed. And we might end up seeing it from both runners here.
Well, that certainly looks like the case. Palace 1 for Kingdahl and TheHangryCanuck both being able to finish that right out of the bat. I believe the TheHangryCanuck finished Palace 3.
Yep.
Whereas Kingdahl finished Palace...
Ooh! Kingdahl taking a drink.
Yeah. Little trip to the sauna for Kingdahl. But
He's...
Kingdahl, being in Great Palace, already finished Palace 4 and Palace 5. With Palace 2 just kind of staring them right in the face for the better part of an hour.
And even from what we've seen, it actually looks like Palace 2 wasn't even glove blocked either. Because TheHangryCanuck went through the glove block and it led to nothing. Not even the item room.
Yeah, so it was just a matter of trying to get through one of the awful lag enemy rooms.
Okay, Kingdahl getting this. We might have something here.
Well, he went looking for an item and find it.
Okay, and it led to another elevator. Another elevator room. So the nature of that drop that Kingdahl took to get here. Oh dear.
Oh, whammy.
Oh dear. You don't want to see that. You
not go
don't.
That way. Let's try the other way.
You don't want to see that.
That is the whammy room.
Well, okay.
We have a way around it, potentially. So
things are continuing onwards, so that's good.
So it looks like we have another drop from Kingdahl.
Okay, and this is the other one-way drop room. We still
we
might
have-
have something here.
Ay, ay, ay.
This will either lead to Dark Link or it'll lead back to another part of the palace here.
Yeah, so if this loops back into something that we've already seen,
Then Thunderbird is likely
Then-
required.
Thunderbird is almost certainly required, and Kingdahl's going to need to get out of there and probably, figure out where New Kasuto is, which he does know indirectly where it is. So he walked over the tile where it is, but unfortunately did not use the hammer to reveal the town.
I'm just convinced that he doesn't, that consciously or otherwise, he might just not have realized that that's what that was. Well, there's the fairy room. This is still new territory from our perspective. So
Yeah, this is, oh boy. This is, paperclip room.
Mm-hmm. Convoluted path, but if it gets you to the end, it gets you to the end.
Alright, so let's see. Elevator room.
Elevator room. One that I'm pretty sure we hadn't seen.
That looks similar, but distinctly different to a room we've seen.
Okay.
Eon drop?
Eon drop. This is a rather interesting layout because I've taken a number of drops and it hasn't looped around itself. Oh, geez, wow. You could have just stayed on the bottom. And
It looks like he doesn't want to take the drop, or...
it's not going to force you to. But he got the birds out of there. That's I don't think he even took a hit on that. And there's a dead end.
We're taking the drop at this point, I think.
Yeah. Well, either taking a drop or taking a dunk, one or the other, because he is on his last life right now. Oh, he's not even taking the drop.
Oh, he's not going for the drop. Oh no.
Well, because we've seen both drops, and I did not see what I think Canuck just got the key. No, that was
the boots.
That was the boots, right?
All right, so Kingdahl going to the ferry.
We've seen both drops that are likely mandatory. So, taking that drop probably would not have gotten Kingdahl anywhere. I don't think. I don't know what to think right now,
you
honestly.
don't know until you try. But, oh boy. So, the TheHangryCanuck finishing Palaces 1, 3, and 5 now has access to the Great Palace. Kingdahl looping back around. So we'll see...
well, that loop back around to the ferry room.
So it looks like he's going to have to commit to the Eon drop at this point.
Yeah, probably. And then he takes a drink and gets a game over instead. Apparently he did get an extra life, or maybe not. I don't know.
Well,
I think I saw one on his status mirrors. I think he did have an extra one to give. Okay.
Well, one way or another, here's the Eon drop. So let's see if this gets him anywhere. Otherwise, denied.
I think this set him back.
Denied.
I think this set him back. I'm starting to get that inkling that the T-bird might be required here, yeah. Although there was one elevator that he didn't take. It was the one just to the left of this one, because the first elevator he went up was a screen past that.
Oh, and he up 8 out. Oh, he's out of there.
Well, I mean, he was already at the entrance anyway, but yeah, he's doing the full up A, and just as Kingdahl leaves, TheHangryCanuck enters.
All right, so now Kingdahl. What are you doing, buddy? Where are we going?
Yeah, this is... Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. I think...
So it looks like he's gonna go into, I think the cave that doesn't go to the glove is, a Death Mountain cave.
No, it is a, it is an item cave. I think this just had a pea bag in it, though.
Alright, so worst case scenario. Yeah, you're right, that's a pea bag. We're looking at potentially needing the Water of Life and finding Mito, because I don't think either of our runners have been in Mito yet.
Yes, they have. They've found it. They just didn't do anything in there.
Ah, okay.
It looks like we have trails in chat. We've seen Kingdahl explored a good bit of GP. I'm inclined to say yes at this point, unless there was like one path that he didn't take that TheHangryCanuck finds.
All right, so it looks like Kingdahl's on the right track. I think we're looking for New Kasudo. So it looks like we're going to try to hammer out some trees here, so...
Thankfully, with the boots making travel a bit easier for Kingdahl here.
Yeah, but not into the direction that I think he wants to go, because we've got to go past the River Devil area.
Actually, no, he doesn't. There was a pass-through cave that led to that, and it was just a little enclosed-off spot. It was definitely pre-River Devil, though.
Okay. I will defer to your knowledge of. But I thought it was right after where the River Devil is.
That's
his little path, and then it L's to the right.
That cave that Kingdahl's is on Kingdahl's screen. That's the one that leads to New Kasudo. Because that was where the two desert towels were, I believe.
Because it was a river. It was a graveyard that had two grass tiles. TheHangryCanuck walked over one of them, didn't get an encounter, which means that's the New Kasudo tile.
Yeah, but it wasn't behind the River Devil, though. Okay. TheHangryCanuck having some fun in the fun room.
And you wonder why it's called the fun room. Oh boy. Well, Kingdahl exploring some more. When we know it's not in Maze Island, so Maze Island is the...
Yeah, Kingdahl already got everything out of there.
Yeah, he got the item out of P5, which was the palace there. I would argue that Kingdahl is actually ahead.
Yeah.
Because Kingdahl knows that he needs thunder. TheHangryCanuck is going into Great Palace without thunder and doing the same thing that Kingdahl has already done for about a good 10, almost 15 minutes.
I think Canuck is about to say, yep.
So
See the
Canuck's
bad
going to hit
news.
the whammy. So that's Thunderbird. So it'll be a matter of how long floors before getting out of there. And if I'm not mistaken, Kingdahl needs to head a little bit to the north. Oh, please don't go into Palace 3. Alright, we've dodged that bullet.
I thought that was 6, but either way.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's a
Yeah,
palace
it
that
doesn't
they
matter
have
at
no
this point.
business going into looking for an item at this point.
Notice that I don't think Kingdahl has been checking any of the forest tiles. And that makes me wonder how aware he is of the whole new Kasuto mechanic.
Well, that may well just sink his battleship at this point, because New Kasuto's the one town that we've not found yet. And it looks like
yes.
he's basically found the entire boundary of the Eastern Continent at this point. Because that's where New Kasuto is, right up there.
Yeah, I think.
Because I thought that was right after where the River Devil was.
I could have sworn
River-
there was just a
River
pass-through
Devil
cave that took
passed
you right
through.
there.
Because that's the dead end up to the side. New Kasuto's right there.
Oh, was that what? Okay, I thought there was. Oh, maybe I am mistaken.
Oh, that's all right. The way this has gone so far, it's just, you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, you know. I don't blame you. So, Kingdahl is just going up, down, left, right, and walking right past where New Kasuto is. And, well, we can't fault TheHangryCanuck for missing it almost as many times. Because TheHangryCanuck has been through there. And it's just a matter of... Uh-oh. Oh. Turned around. Damn. So TheHangryCanuck is now into a town, realizing that he's missing 2 spells, one of which is the Water of Life, and the other of which is the new Kasuto spell. And the 2 spells that we have at large are the spell and a slightly more relevant Thunder.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, I'm suspecting Kingdahl is just wondering where the heck New Kasuto is, not realizing it's probably under the forest tile. Because he found the single forest tile that led to nothing. But ooh, we do have some new information. There's the water tile, which I don't think has been checked yet.
Well, the only thing that it could potentially have
Would have been Water of Life, but it's not.
Yeah. But I don't think it could have had that, because it was supposed to have a small item, like...
No. It could have. It
Oh,
been
it could have
anything.
had the water. Okay.
That's because that has a heart container in vanilla, so it could have been anything.
Okay. All right. Oh, he just used the hammer, so maybe he's now on the right track of figuring, okay, I've got to start hammering away at these.
That wasn't the
forest
right
tiles.
one. That wasn't the right one.
No. But that's not where the River Devil is. It's up higher on the map. He's much further south than he needs to be, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
He's just hammering random forests right now. I don't know if he's on tilt or just thinking.
Oh, he's absolutely on tilt right now. Because he needs to go back to where that one solitary tile is, up to the right.
And he's
just hammering away.
He's clearing the forest. Oh boy.
Well,
this is
the
unfortunate.
Herulian paper mill is going to appreciate all the trees being knocked down in the name of founding New Kasudo. But unfortunately, Kingdahl is in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
And we see the TheHangryCanuck using that pass-through cave that you were speaking of. But that brought him much further south than he needs to be.
Well, the pass-through cave that I was thinking of just led to a completely enclosed area.
Kingdahl possibly heading back to where that solitary tile is, where New Kasudo is. It's on the top of his screen right now. But I think he's going to end up going to the right where all those forest tiles are and just destroy the whole Amazon rainforest there. No? Oh, he's going. He might have it.
I guess we'll see whose memory is working better today. See if this was the one or if it was...
That's
the one! That is the one! Okay, that was flute blocked. Okay, good. So it's good to have the correct information. So, item number 1, what do we got? Is this water of life? No. It's a magic container, but it's the last one. So now, the spell.
Now we have to get the spell. If it's the spell, then we have to hope the water of life is in the spell tower. If it's thunder, we're good. Back to Great Palace we go.
Meanwhile, Canuck is diving 6.
Okay.
Alright, so is this thunder? No.
Negative.
So we have to find the water of life. Neither of them have checked the hint for it, so we have no idea where the heck it is right now.
Oh boy. So now we need to find the water of life. Did the TheHangryCanuck check the hint?
If he checked it, I did not see it. So,
well, let's see if we find the vile henchman in tower.
No, it's just the one up in New Kasudo. Oh boy.
So we need the water of life. So all of that for Kingdahl to find New Kasudo, and it ends up being for... Am I allowed to say shits and giggles?
Yeah, I think we're fine on ZSR. And so, yep, Kingdahl's, that's the closest palace. Palace 2, item hunt, here we go.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's pretty much dead even. Both our runners have explored more or less the same amount of stuff in GP. They both found Thunderbird. Every sign is looking towards it being required. So, yeah, it's just a matter of hunting down that water of life. And I'm still convinced neither of them have actually checked the hint for it. So, who knows where it is.
Oh boy.
So, actually, we know it's not in 1. We know it's not in 5. because we've seen the item there.
Just went. Oh, that's as far as Kingdahl made it previously.
Ah, and that is not the glove block route, so this is new information for us now.
So we'll see what's behind door number 2.
There's the item room. Was it right here this whole time? Yes! Water of Life, Palace 2. Wasn't glove blocked either. It was jump/fairy locked, if anything.
God.
Oh,
Now,
boy.
the only part of this little game of Clue that I got wrong about an hour ago was that it was Palace 2 that we needed to do.
Yep.
But for the wrong reason. We needed the item to then go back and get Thunder.
Yeah, the thing is, they both could have gotten just cleared the palace to place the gem there too. I'm still amazed that both of our runners decided to do P5.
Oh boy. So the item room in Palace 2, which both of our runners had access to an
From the
hour
moment
and a
they had
half
the
ago
jump
at this
spell,
point?
From the moment they had the jump spell, really.
Yeah, which was, well, for TheHangryCanuck, it was almost straight away. Kingdahl, it took a little while, but Kingdahl was into Palace 2 at the start and noped out. So I guess Kingdahl just needs to remember where the correct town is.
Which I think he's heading in that direction now, though. Seth.
Isn't it in the swamp there?
He's in the right region, at least. There it is. Okay.
Found it.
All is well.
All right, so Kingdahl on the right track, so he'll pick up Thunder and be able to take on the Thunderbird, which he knows how to get to.
Yep. It's not a short path to him for sure, to Thunderbird for sure, but he knows how to get there.
But we can remove that obstacle. Yeah, that's what she said. But there's Thunder. Kingdahl now has his entry pass into the Thunderbird room, which will then hopefully get him to Dark Link.
Given how much we've seen, it wouldn't surprise me if Dark Link is like the next screen afterwards.
It ends up being that way a lot of the time, doesn't it? Seem that way.
Well, like when it's a long, convoluted path, I would have taken that one up for sure. But when you're starting with 2 lives, GP is kind of scary. Having life 8 does help, and a very strong life spell for sure.
Well, we're only on 5 heart containers, so that could be an issue.
Yeah, neither of our runners had actually found one, so I'm starting to think there might just not have been any to be had.
Oh, and the TheHangryCanuck into the eastern continent, so we know that's not the place to be right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, but they say he hasn't found New Kasuto either, so he doesn't know that.
Well, unfortunately for him, I think he's going to learn what Kingdahl had learned previously. No, we don't want to go into Palace 4. But
He's hunting down the Water of Life, probably.
Yeah, well, he has to at this point.
Yeah, he just
has no idea where it is.
But if either of our runners had just checked the spell hint, it would have said Helmet Head guards the Water of Life. But oh well.
Such is life. Live and learn for the next round. So as things stand right now, it looks like Kingdahl is going to carry this one through. A little ugly, but I'll take the W. I'd rather win ugly than lose looking good.
Well, I think we're being asked for a story of the seed. Like I said, it started with it was a 3-gem seed. For whatever, the glove ended up being in a cave really close to P2, though despite Canuck finding that shortly after exploring P2, never went back in. Kingdahl, I think, just straight obeyed away from P2 after finding a glove block that ended up actually not being required in the first place, from what I could tell.
Yeah.
And
P2...
that's probably a lot of things that held them back, because P5 was the last palace either of them found on Maze Island, and that ended up being their
their third gem.
So that was interesting. TheHangryCanuck is finding the item in 6, and it's
still a magic jar, because we knew that from...
Oh, that was P4. Never mind. I thought he was still in 6.
No, he was in 4. Canuck is now hopefully going to unearth New Kasuto. Nope, he's going into a pass-through cave.
Yeah, that will lead to a couple things. But Kingdahl makes it to Thunderbird. Doesn't have any magic, so he's going to have to burn a life for this. But
yeah, well, details.
He has tons of magic. Life spell will pretty much full heal him. Loading up on shield, reflect, jump, getting himself primed and ready to go.
Oh, I don't know about that life spell at this point. Oh boy.
Well, yeah, you can't use it now, but preemptively using shield is probably just as effective, really. And with attack 6, this should not take very long.
All right.
I am so used to seeing these Thunderbird fights at attack 5. And down goes Thunderbird.
Yeah, first round knockout for Kingdahl.
So, moment of truth. Is this where Dark Link is? Yes!
Says correct answer. Alright, so Kingdahl using shield one last time to make sure that he doesn't flub the Dark Link fight.
He did use shield, so he does have a few hits to give. And he's doing the safe strats for it.
I would not have to want to come all the way back here just for this after a game over, so that'll do it.
Yep, but down goes Dark Link, and Kingdahl finishes in first place with an official SRL time of 1:53.45. GG.
Yeah, get those GGs in the chat. TheHangryCanuck is into New Kasuto, finding the one-up doll in the spell tower,
and he has actually forfeited from the race at this point.
Yeah, I guess no point in continuing on. Oh my God, what?
It was this was a rough going for us here for sure.
I am truly surprised that both of our runners survived this seed for this long, because it felt like for a solid hour and 15 minutes at minimum, they were just getting flat trolled by the seed.
I will see if I can get the runners in for a quick interview.
All right then, and
we just
well, there we have TheHangryCanuck in
the
room. GG, good effort.
Yeah, I went wrong in so many places.
Yeah, and to answer your question in SRL, yes, Thunderbird was required.
Yeah, I figured when I got there.
To tell you the correct answer?
Well, I know I'm looking for the medicine, but I don't know where it's at.
Okay.
Mido's got to have
Yep,
my thunder
yep.
spell.
Yep, that was the correct answer, and it was in Palace 2.
I didn't even see Palace 2, I don't think.
No, you did
Oh,
Palace.
you were
It
there.
was near that cave where you found the
Where the gloves
the
were.
glove. That's where P2 was. It was pretty much just straight west from the starting
Right on.
point.
Yeah, see, once I got my crystals, I didn't bother going in any other palaces. I'm like, I got every spell, and then I forgot all about cutting down trees to find this place.
Yeah, well, Kingdahl was pretty much in the same boat. It took him a long time before he started chopping down trees and wasn't limiting it to just the single tiles either. So,
Well, the only thing that tipped it off for me was I tried to walk on this grass tile, and I'm like, why is nothing happening? And then I'm like, oh no.
yep.
I'm like, I passed it about a year ago, and I'm like, well, if this is thunder, I'm just gonna throw everything out the window right now.
Alright, and we've also got Kingdahl here.
Yep.
Hello.
Congratulations, Kingdahl. GG.
You're talking, we cannot hear you.
Oh, no.
Now we can. Now we can.
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything you said before.
So, what were your thoughts concerning this wonderful seat?
Well, I mean, the glove. I didn't see that little hole in the rocks there, so I had no idea where those two caves were there. The Heart Cave and what was it? The Meg. So I thought, okay, I'm not gonna go through Overworld looking for those two caves. Let's go east. And boy, did I go east! Whew.
Yeah, I was looking for the thunder spell. Like, that's all I needed. I went through all of GP and realized that Thunderbird's required. And I'm like,
Yeah.
crap.
It was.
Yep, Kingdahl pretty much took the same path you did.
Yeah, the medicine were somewhere.
Yeah, the medicine was in Palace 2.
Palace too. Yeah.
I know this much. I gotta go back to all keys because my combat is gross. There's no way I should be dying this much.
So one thing that kind of surprised me was that the third gem for both of you was P5 in Maze Island. And that I thought that was interesting because like P2 was readily available, P4 was readily available for Canuck.
I'm pretty sure level 2 was glove blocked.
I was
Negative.
I was convinced that it wasn't because I know Canuck actually explored past the glove block in 2 and didn't find anything.
Okay. I thought it was glove blocked, so I left. Otherwise,
I was convinced that Helmet Head was past that jump room with the iron knuckles and all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't have jump or fairy, so it was kind of blocked for me.
Yeah.
I
that
had
would do
jump,
it.
but I just didn't bother trying.
Yeah, so I mean, blocked. You're not gonna get through there without jump or fairy. That early, at least. Even if you do some kind of frame perfect jump. So I picked level 5 because it was so far away, and I knew it wasn't glove blocked. So, and I need, and it could be the glove as an item. So it was like I have a 1 gem left, and I'm looking for an item. So I mean, I'm not gonna leave.
Especially since it was like the last palace you found. If you're already all the way out there, I guess might do it.
Yeah, I mean, I got to kill a boss somewhere, so it might as well be in 5. So I mean, every choice I made was the wrong. But
The one decision that I thought was interesting, I don't think either of you ever checked the spell hint for Mido. Because if you talk to the person that walks out, they will tell you where the Water of Life is.
yeah, the chances of that, the chance of thunder being required is so low, and then the chance of Mido having thunder is all, combined with it being required. So I never I haven't really played a lot of these with the hints either. So
Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
that's the only spell I'm missing. I have everything else.
I also haven't played with the hidden town. So I thought, okay, I'll start chopping down some bushes. And then I thought, wait, there was this bush that didn't trigger anything. And I've seen that in other seeds also, but it's never stopped me. So I thought, okay, maybe that bush is the hidden.
Yep.
And it
Yeah,
was.
whenever you find a forest tile by itself that doesn't go into encounter, that is Nukasudo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's how
gave
I
me-
found it. That's how I
Yeah.
remembered about it. I walked over and nothing happened. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, that gave me a jar and some money and spell. Great.
Well,
Just-
hey, at least for whatever it's worth, finding spell mean you didn't have to come back there again.
Yeah, but it didn't have anything, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah. But at least you didn't have to make 2 trips to find all of the nothing.
I think I went everywhere.
Yeah, I think both of you went pretty much everywhere.
This the item in 3 and 6. I think those are the ones I didn't see. Because I didn't.
The only thing they could have been is maybe heart containers or pea bags.
Yeah, because neither of you found any heart containers, so that was making me question whether there was any to be had.
Probably not.
But if it did help that life was rather potent this time around, doing at least 4 bars worth.
Yeah,
So that did help.
I had
And I must say, Kingdahl, your Thunderbird fight was rather well. You did that rather well.
and then if I can get jump and reflect and shield, is usually pretty good. I completed the 1 attack challenge once.
Oh wow, nice.
a few years ago, so you have to learn that guy.
Yeah, you kind of have to get good at boss fights when under those conditions.
What
Yeah,
level did
kinda-
you finish with?
What?
Kingdahl was a 668, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's-
only 566, but I'm not really worried about the Thunderbird fight anyway. So
I like to play it safe. I don't play very fast, so my boss fights are slow, but they're pretty safe.
Yeah, it gets better slower on 1 attempt than faster on 2 or 3.
Yeah, because you don't know what items you're gonna have or spells or nothing when you get to them. So you kind of have to learn. For randomizers, I've kind of learned how to beat bosses with low levels.
Yeah, it's a good skill to have.
It's only worth it in rando. But I'm gearing more towards rando than vanilla anyway, so kind of like surprises.
nope, I'm going back to vanilla.
I've done that. That was a few years ago. It's not the best speedrun with all the walking and the encounters and if it only was the palaces and fighting but the overworld is so boring. It's 40 minutes of walking. I prefer Zelda 1. That's action all the time.
All right.
But
So I think we've probably covered all our bases here. Is there any final words from either of our runners here?
Nah, not really. I mean, we showed you everything that the game had to offer. Probably saw every room in GP also. That doesn't happen every time. It was a full walkthrough.
Need Thunder.
Yes. Of course.
Any final words from you, TheHangryCanuck?
No, thanks for the restream in the comms and GG Kingdahl.
GG.
And
Was a good race.
that's about
Yeah, it was definitely it could have gone either way here.
Yeah. Of
Oh,
course.
absolutely.
This heat could have been 30 minutes if you knew that the glove was so early. But
Yeah, it was all about Palace 2, and I was kind of speculating about it at about 20 to 25 minutes in, thinking that, okay, we could do Palace 1, 2, and 4 and just kind of go for it with Great Palace.
yeah,
Although
but
we
wait.
would have had the minor little detail of,
Yeah.
you know,
And doing 2
having
would have
to
led
go
you
back
getting the
and
water
getting
of life.
the
most
item
likely,
out of
so-
Palace 2, which would have led to Thunder, which we definitely needed.
Yeah, I mean, if this was a router seed, it could be really fast. Like
But,
20,
you know.
35 minutes.
Just saying, normally the restreamer rules the seats, but since I'm relatively new to CTOR, restreaming Melee, one of the commentators actually, did roll the seats, so don't blame me.
The seed was great. It was the decisions and the choices that were poor. It's a great seed to play.
But yeah, Zelda action never stops, so we have still some Zelda for you afterwards. After this, we're gonna be rating the Zelda Speedruns 1 channel, which is currently doing a Breath of the Wild any percent race. So stick around for that. And then
Not
we
to
actually
mention,
have-
not to mention, last I saw those on ZSR 3, we have the Majora's Mask weekly race going on right now.
I have been told to always go from 1 to 3, so
Fair
we're
enough.
rating 1. We're rating 1.
Fair enough. Other
But yeah.
things on the docket for today. Looks like we've got an Ocarina of Time 3v3 multi-world race at 3, Oracle of Ages, any percent race also at 3, and also the Ocarina of Time weekly at 6.
So stick around for all of that. And do we have some final words from our remaining runner in the voice call here?
Oh, thanks for the restream, and good luck with what you're doing. And I'll try to get another win, and then I'll leave the tournament. I was just glad I didn't